Hello riders and nuts! Today on the vlog we are at Paulson Creative filming a custom Triumph Bonneville bobber. Does it have a name?
The Goodwood edition.
And we have Stuart,
Hello.
who is the owner of a business. We filmed you how many years ago?
I think it's probably about four or 5 years ago now, yeah.
So how long you run the business now?
Yeah, we've been in business just over 5 years. We've moved from a smaller location to our current location, which is a lot bigger.
And now you're building 2 bikes for a Goodwood Revival Festival.
That's right, yep. So a few years ago we wouldn't have believed we were going, but we're going to exhibit at Goodwood Revival. We're building 2 bikes that are specific for that weekend. This one's race inspired, the other one's more vintage inspired. And they're developed just so that they've got something about Goodwood and British racing in them.
Would you say customize the build?
I'd say probably customised. The thing about our builds, a lot of them, they use the factory frame and engine, but it means that they're quite easily serviceable, they're reliable, usable. But yeah, I would say customised, so it looks very different to a standard bike, but it's not necessarily fully built from the ground up.
And you said the inspiration was a vintage racing.
That's right, yeah. So the green that's on the side is our touch on British racing green. Obviously a very famous racing colour.
It's gorgeous.
It's like a flip-flop colour, so on the other side we've got black and gold, which you can't see from where you're stood at the moment.
I will show it.
But that's sort of like John Player special style racing colours from years ago. We've got a safety wired sprocket at the rear. It's all got the custom exhaust system, stuff like it's all linked into racing essentially, sport adjustable levers, things that just give it a nod to sort of a racing theme.
Now I'll grab my camera
Okay.
and I will ask you to take us through
No
each
problem.
and one detail that you built here, changed here, the parts that you're making at Paulson, and all the things that you've done to the bike.
Perfect.
Is that
Okay,
all right?
no problem.
And then I'll ask some questions, some tricky ones.
The exhaust we built in collaboration with Hitchcock's Motorcycles. A guy called Tom there, he's built a few systems for us before. His welding is impeccable, and the sound is fantastic. There is actually baffles installed in here, so it's not quite as obnoxious as it might look, but it does sound very good. It's a one-off design. I know he does very similar available for other customers, but we wanted to tweak a few things on there. This is the stainless steel system. He can also do it in titanium. We've done an airbox delete, so usually you'd have a large side panel in here with a large plastic airbox. That's been removed. This is our Paulson custom laser cut product that we create with the leather straps to match. And what that does, that just hides the wiring and allows us to basically expose the side of the bike without all the wiring falling out and being ugly. We then put sort of race inspired sort of high flow air filters on there. It allows the air to go into the engine a lot faster. Going backwards then, this is also ours, so it's a custom chain guard built by us. It's handmade, laser etched with our logo on there. It's about as minimalist as it can be, but it allows it to stop flinging chain lube all up your back. The sprocket is a 2-piece sprocket with a little bit unnecessary on a road bike, but we decided to safety wire it with safety nuts just because it's a race-esque style. With the gold DID chain as well, just gives it some impact. The tyres, front and rear, are oversized. They're large Avon Cobra Chrome, so they're much stickier, much more effective on the road. It also gives it that bobber look.
What size are the tyres?
They're 170 on the rear and 150 on the front.
Is that the maximum you can go on the
It is really
trims?
what we find is any larger than that, you're going to start having clearance issues with the chain.
Did you have to adjust the wheels for that?
No, fortunately, there's still the factory rims. Again, another thing that we usually do, we can have larger rims made, and we've done that for several clients, but what we find price-wise and budget-wise, depending on the spec of the build, using the original rims, it means that you can have, just by changing the tyres, change the look of the vehicle without it costing the earth, sort of thing. So that's cool. And then back end, obviously, usually you'd have a large mudguard. I know you've ridden a standard one before, so you're familiar with it.
I love this shore one.
Yes, with the large lights. So that's all been removed and cut. What we do is we actually use the same line, the factory wood, so it's the same angle, but a lot further down. And then obviously it's been blended and painted so that it's uniform. The underneath of the seat's been powder coated in gloss black just to give it a bit more of a sort of a modern look. As a custom
Is it in gloss black?
It is under here, yeah.
You know what? When you look in the light, because it reflects that
Like
green,
silver,
it does look like it's almost like a chameleon color.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not. I think, fortunately, because it's glossy, it reflects the paintwork.
That's so amazing.
Instead of having a Triumph logo on here, we've done a Paulson laser etched design on the back there, which we painted it black and then laser etched back through the paint to expose the aluminium underneath. We've done a side mount because usually a number plate would be mounted to the rear of the bike. So this is our kit that we sell on our site. We do it for Harleys and Triumphs. Side mount number plate kit that allows you to not only have the light illuminated onto the plate, but also have it nice and neat and tidy to the side.
That's a light.
That's a light in bulk built in there.
Nice.
So with a full size plate on there, it's MOT compliant as well. I'll show you the rear lights as well. So they're absolutely tiny. So they're Kellerman micro lights, almost invisible until they're switched on. That's running light, brake light, and then also indicators all built in one. Allows you to streamline the whole rear end of the bike. Then moving forwards, obviously we've mentioned the airbox delete. Anything that wasn't black's been blacked out, so some of the switch gear and some of the levers have been blacked out. We've got fully adjustable levers at the front here, so that depending on your hand size you can change the angle of the lever. We've got motor gadget mirrors on the end, so these are the spy mirror, very small, no glass involved, it's polished metal, very high quality and actually don't vibrate too badly when you're riding along, which is pretty good. We've had the grips wrapped in leather with green stitching to match the seat, which is bespoke to the same paint job, so we tried matching the green stitching to the green paint.
Who made this seat?
So a guy called Tom from East County Customs, he's a guy we use quite regularly. He upholsters a lot of our custom bikes and builds and stuff, and his quality's to our standards, so we use him for most of our work. And then moving to the front, so we've got black forks, black fork blackout kits on the front here.
Is that one of yours?
It's not actually. This is we do make one ourselves, but it doesn't feature the indicator on the side. We sometimes use Wunderkind, which involve the LED built in. On this occasion, because of the Kellermans at the rear, we decided to use Kellermans at the front. So we've installed the same here. These are indicator only, so they don't have the running light, but they're just as bright as the rear. And the front mudguard's also short, so this is actually a factory Triumph guard that you can buy for the bobber, which is shortened.
Oh, okay.
But it's obviously custom painted, so it was an expensive part that they immediately got repainted, but it just gives it the look and finish that we were looking for. And I think that kind of summarises most of it.
Okay, let me have a look. Have you changed the suspension at all?
We haven't actually, no. So some of our customers do request to do that. The suspension on these is hit and miss, depends on the size of the rider. We know that Fox Shock's quite a good upgrade that we've done on a few builds. On this particular one we didn't. Again, it was built to go to Goodwood, so the idea being we've got a budget in mind for the client that may or may not buy it, and we want to try and keep it at a certain price range. We can go on forever and keep upgrading things, but the price will obviously increase.
Why you decided to have that cap and kind of go for not extreme build to show off, but to show something more doable for a regular customer?
Exactly. I think it's because we've got clients from all different backgrounds, and we've built bikes from huge different price ranges, from not too much to quite a lot of money, and we find a huge amount of our orders are in this price bracket, which is sort of sub 20,000. This is 17,995 we're going to be advertising this for, and we find that it's completely bespoke, completely one-off. It's got a theme to it and everything, but at least it's kind of a little bit more reasonable or affordable. We offer finance, there's different ways in which we take payments, so all of a sudden it seems like more people could afford the bike. Yes, we could build one and change a lot more on it and make it a 40 grand bike, but obviously it's a much smaller audience that would then be able to purchase that. So we're trying to make it a little bit more available to the masses. There's one thing I left out, I forgot. We've got
I wanted to ask about that.
Custom laser etched points cover there, made in-house. So that's the actual Goodwood track.
Yeah.
And we've put one of one on there just to make sure that people are aware that we won't build another one the same specification. Harry. He did.
Oh, I know Harry. Have you done all the builds?
Yep. The majority of it. There was a few bits and pieces that I had help from the guys in there, but yeah, I was 90% of it is all me. So like the chop of the mudguard and all the bits and bolt-on pieces. Yeah, it's all good.
Would you say that was difficult?
Not particularly, because we've done quite a few of them before. But there's a few bits and pieces because we were going for more of like a race sort of style. If I was to do it again, I'd probably go clip-ons with some shorter fork covers.
So you would go more calf racer style?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be a cool style and stance, and also I'd probably put some like super coursers or something like that on there, so to give it a bit more manoeuvrability and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Have you disagree on something, you two, during the build?
I think from my side, obviously, we discussed it just now about making something that's a bit more available for not the masses, but people are looking for something individual. It's Triumph's fastest selling bike, the Triumph Bobber. So to move too far away from that, I think would limit the audience. Absolutely, I think going forward, what's exciting is obviously every time we build something like this, they seem to do well, and more clients ask for something individual. So fingers crossed we can start doing more race-esque stuff. Yeah. And I think the only reason I had to say to Harry is like, let's try and keep it more in this ilk before Goodwood, is so that it's again more people, it's more accessible to more people. People like the comfort of the current bars and everything else. But I think a race version would look wicked, absolutely. Yeah.
Be very different as well.
What was your favourite part to do on that bike?
I really like the real minimalist mudguard, just to show off that big fat tyre on the rear end there, and it just gives it such more of a muscle stance, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think that's my favourite part on there.
What was your least favourite part to do?
These are the stock bars on here. So again, if I was to do it again, I'd go more racy, maybe just like a flat like brack bar with a small pullback, or again clip-ons. The world's your oyster, really. You can do whatever you like with it.
But have you ridden it?
I have ridden it, yep. Very fast, very quick. Handles beautiful, turns heads. What more can you want from a bike?
Have you ridden it before it was customized?
Yes, I've ridden the standard one, yep.
What was the difference?
It was louder, feels a little bit faster because obviously we've taken a lot of unnecessary parts off, like the airbox.
About a year ago or so, I was riding a stock Bonneville Bobber, and today I have a chance to ride this one. I will see what is the difference. Visually, we all can see that it is different looking bike, a custom looking bike, a one-off, something special. My favorite part is definitely the paint that has a story and stands out, and also the exhaust. The quality of the welds is immaculate, and I'm a Harley rider. I'm a big fan of a custom exhaust. I can't wait to hear how does it sound and how does it feel to ride it. Here we go, we're ready to ride a Bobber. Feels alright. Oh, I miss riding Triumphs. I always miss riding Triumphs. They are so nice to ride. From the first go, you just feel like home. Can you hear that sound? That alone is worth customizing your Bobber. That sound is so beautiful, but at the same time it's subtle. Careful with that one. It's always so precious to ride a custom bike, a custom build, because it's one-off, plus it's like 17-18 grand, and it is built for a show, and it needs to make to the show, so it's always very precious, and I'm trying to be extra careful. Let's go that way. I'll just go the way that I know. Opening up. Wow, that sounds amazing. Can you hear it, guys? That is definitely the best sounding Triumph that I ever rode. It's beautiful and it rides so nicely. I can't compare exactly how different it is from Bobber that I rode, from the factory Bobber, because it was a year ago and they all very nice. But this is beautiful. Wow. You know, I love my job. Absolutely. Now I just shut up and let you guys listen to the sound of a bobber. It's definitely a head turner. And it doesn't matter how you go on this, or fast or slow, it just feels amazing. It's such a good feeling to ride it, that sound. And plus, like Stuart said, they keep it modern bikes, so it's nice and easy, effortless to ride. Especially it's a Triumph. Modern Triumphs are such a pleasure to ride, and they added a custom feeling, even more custom feeling to the bobber than it was before. And that sound, guys, I'm obsessed. Wow, definitely I love everything about that bike. I think that's exactly what it was missing for me in a bobber, that depth of a sound, but at the same time it's not annoying at all. It's not too loud, it's not too much into the face, it just has this nice note. Love it so much, guys. Absolutely. I hope it will go well for guys at Goodwood. It's a beautiful bike, beautiful. and nice to ride. And sounds right. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.